Attention passengers, we ask that you please fasten your seatbelts at this time and secure all baggage underneath your seat or in the overhead compartments. Flyover Country with Scott Jennings is prepared for takeoff.
I'm Scott Jennings, and here's my latest comment. Glenn Youngkin's win in the Virginia gubernatorial race, a massive victory in a state won just a year ago by President Joe Biden by 10 points, proves that there's a market for an old-fashioned, simple tactic. Find a platform of issues that's responsive to voter concerns and run on it. Education, crime, the economy, reforming state government. All of this mattered to Virginia voters, and Youngkin did what Donald Trump failed to do in the 2020 election: construct a platform to meet actual voter concerns. Make America boring again by running on issues and refusing to chase the personal grievance of the day. Democrats failed this test miserably. Terry McAuliffe, President Joe Biden, former President Barack Obama, and every other Democratic luminary showed up to campaign for McAuliffe, and they all made the same pitch. Youngkin is a white supremacist Trump clone, and so is anyone who votes for him. It was a lie from the start, and voters simply weren't buying it. There was demand among the electorate, even among some moderate Democrats, for a candidacy based on issues rather than personality. Youngkin gave folks exactly what they wanted, while McAuliffe and company gave them junk food left over from last year's election buffet. Republicans now have a blueprint for running in targeted races across the country, especially in states with large suburban areas like in Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina, where key races will determine control of Congress in 2022. Issues like education, crime, and quality of life help Youngkin far outkick his coverage in Northern Virginia's deep blue suburbs. It turns out that when candidates are responsive to what voters are worried about, people tend to respond. In 2020, we found that the Republican brand, below Trump, was in pretty solid shape. The Republicans far outperformed pundit expectations in the U.S. House, leaving it just short of a majority and well-positioned to reclaim it in 2022. Democrats failed to win Senate races in Maine and North Carolina. And in state houses across the country, Republicans swamped Democrats in gubernatorial and state legislative races. In Virginia, Youngkin's strategy was more like the non-Trump Republican success stories of 2020. He focused on his own brand and on issues that were top of mind for local voters, instead of on a Trump-centric or Trump-style campaign that relied on rotating grievances and personal pique. Youngkin firmly rejected the January 6th Capitol riot, and he didn't prejudge the integrity of the election, although Trump played footsie with that message in some of his personal statements in the weeks leading up to Election Day. And Youngkin's tactics did not drive any Republicans away from his campaign, contrary to what Trump had argued a few weeks ago when he said that Republicans would not vote unless the Republican candidates made election security its top and only issue. Rural and suburban voters alike turned out for Youngkin and the entire Virginia ticket, which, by the way, included an African-American female Lieutenant Governor, Winsome Sears, a first for that office, and a Hispanic Attorney General, Jason Miyares, for his office. The entire attack from Democrats that Youngkin motivated racist voters blows up when you consider that 2/3 of the Republican ticket in Virginia were made up of non-white candidates. This is how Republicans are going to win. Continue to take advantage of the collapse of the Democratic Party in rural America. Recover the party's mojo in the suburbs with bread and butter kitchen table issues. And continue to recruit great candidates who look and sound like America, which is basically full of people who believe in America's goodness versus what they see as a Democratic Party intent on running down what this country stands for. So score one for the good guy in Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, who struck a blow for a return to issues-based politics. The politics of Virginia, a blue state, demanded that he thread the needle, and he did it. He kept Trump out and the issues in. And now the Republican Party has a big win to show for it. I'm Scott Jennings. Thanks for listening. You can follow more on Twitter at ScottJenningsKY. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast Flyover Country. Give us 5 stars and let us know what you think about the content we're producing. Thanks for being with us. Flyover Country with Scott Jennings is a production of Bluegrass Media Lab, coming to you from the heart of Middle America, Louisville, Kentucky. If you like what you heard, subscribe to Flyover Country on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. 5-star reviews will help us keep making the content that you love. To find my latest television hits, columns, and other commentary, go to scottjenningsky.com. And you can also find me at Scott Jennings KY on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks for listening and talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure your seat backs and folding trays are in their full upright position. Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing, and thank you for choosing Flyover Country with Scott Jennings.